Top 10 Greatest Warriors of All Time. Number 10 is Richard I, the Lionheart. The Lionheart was the King of England for a very long time and probably the best hero of his period. He additionally managed Normandy, Anjou, Cyprus, Brittany, Gascony, Aquitaine, and Nantes. Richard I is one of those uncommon kings of England known by their epithet instead of the number. He was given the moniker Coeur de Lion or Lionheart for his remarkable boldness and war systems. He started driving his own military when he was only 16. The Lionheart turned into the fundamental Christian pioneer against Saladin. In any case, when he understood that he wouldn't have the option to make sure about Jerusalem regardless of whether he caught it, he marked a ceasefire with Saladin and got back to France. Number 9 is Saladin. In the Western world, Saladin is frequently depicted as the antagonist of the Third Crusade, however the Kurdish Sultan is hailed in the Middle East as the saint who squashed the European Crusaders and returned Jerusalem into Muslim hands. Conceived as a plebeian in 1138 in Mesopotamia, Saladin established the Ubaid tradition and turned into the main Sultan of Egypt and Syria in 1175. He was prepared by his uncle Asad al-Din Shirkuh. In the beginning of his military profession, Saladin joined the Arab powers. Even subsequent to assuming control over the public authority, Saladin by and by drove all the significant military missions. Before his demise in 1193, the liberal sultan had parted with the majority of his abundance to poor people. Number 8 is Miyamoto Musashi. Brought into the world in 1584, this samurai wizard is without a doubt perhaps the best fighter to have ever strolled on Earth. Musashi was raised and prepared by his uncle after his dad's passing. When he was 13, he was bridging Japan, testing the absolute best fighters of the period to a duel. Miyamoto's dad himself was a prepared fighter and a military craftsman. Miyamoto won in excess of 60 duels for the duration of his life, and never endured a thrashing. He is said to have kicked the bucket with his stick in one hand and his blade in the other. He made the Natru procedure where you battle with two blades. Number 7 is Attila the Hun. Attila was the head of the savage gathering called the Huns somewhere in the range of 434 and 453. Indeed, even the incomparable Eastern and Western Roman domains were frightened of him. At the pinnacle of his vocation, Attila's domain spread from the Rhine to the Ural to the Danube to the Baltic Sea. He had crossed the Rhine stream to attack Gaul, France, and crushed a lot of Italy. He was crushed on account of the Roman realm and kicked the bucket in 453. Number 6 is Spartacus. Brought into the world in 109 BC in Thrace, Spartacus is the combatant who rebelled against the Roman Empire. At the point when Rome was at battle with Germany, he chose to leave the military as opposed to battling the Germans. The empire wasn't content with his choice, so they caught him and sold into subjugation. Because of his solidarity, all-around assembled body and the capacity to battle, he was sold as a warrior. Spartacus and his supporters kept on building a multitude of slaves, and in the end they had a 90,000 in number armed force. He is perhaps the best hero not just on account of his solidarity and war capacities yet additionally for his fortitude and sympathy. He was murdered in a fight in 71 BC. Number 5 is Sun Tzu. We have all perused or caught wind of the book The Art of War, which was composed by Sun Tzu in the 5th century BC. The antiquated Chinese general is adored for his military system, hand-to-hand fighting, and theory. He is known for having changed the lord's mistresses into an amazing military power. Tzu's notable book has affected the military systems of Asian rulers for quite a long time as well as the methodologies of Henry Kissinger, Napoleon, and numerous Western chiefs. Number 4 is Gaius Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar was ostensibly the best general in Roman history. He won numerous fights in Britain, Germany, and Gaul, France, and archived his military experiences. He came to control as a quaestor and praetor and proceeded to become emissary and proconsul. The Senate became so awkward with his capacity and impact that they requested that Caesar disband his powers. Yet, he didn't surrender, and at last turned into the despot of Rome in 44 BC. Number 3 is Hannibal Barca. Hannibal Barca was viewed as the best foe of Rome. He drove the Carthaginian powers in the Second Punic War. Barca is regularly depicted as the dad of military technique. He crossed the Alps with 37 war elephants and 46,000 warriors. In the wake of entering the Roman domain, he bothered the Romans for over 10 years. Barca devastated many towns and won numerous fights prior to being crushed by Scipio at the Battle of Zama. Scipio constrained him to sign a truce in 201 BC. Number 2 is Leonidas I of Sparta. Leonidas the Brave was the 17th Lord of Sparta from the Aegead line. His initial years aren't very much recorded, yet he is supposed to be the immediate relative of Heracles. Leonidas is most popular for his brave military experiences at the Battle of Thermopylae during the second attack by the Persians in 480 BC. Lord Darius of Persia had been attempting to vanquish Greece for just about 10 years when Leonidas turned into the ruler. When King Darius passed on, his child Xerxes kept on driving the Persian armed force. Leonidas attempted to stop Xerxes' military at the pass of Thermopylae with 7,000 officers, including the 300 Spartans that made up his own watchmen. At the point when a portion of Leonidas' officers deceived him, he sent away the vast majority of his troopers and kept just the 300 Spartans. The rest is history. Number 1 is Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great is ostensibly the best hero ever. He was the king of Macedon between 336 BC and 323 BC. His domain spread from Greece to India, overcoming Persia, Syria, the Balkans, Egypt and numerous different locales. He spent quite a bit of his initial a very long time under the tutelage of Aristotle. Alexander the Great battled on the forefronts of pretty much every fight. He had likewise wanted to attack Arabia, yet he fell debilitated and kicked the bucket in 323 BC.